Hi, I'm Aaron and I'm in the kitchen, and today I am making lemon pie. It's gonna be so good. Okay, I'm not going to do the whole rigmarole with the pie crust. If you wanna see how I make my pie crust, I will link the video down in the description. Today I already have my pie crust pre-put into the shell. What I did was rolled out my pie crust. Well, I made my pie crust, rolled it out, put it in the shell, and then I put it in the freezer. Now I'm pulling it out of the freezer and I'm going to pre-bake the pie crust. So I am going to line the inside with a little bit of aluminum foil, just so my beans have a place to go. Beans. I think I'm gonna crisscross the line, just so I can easily pull out my beans here. I did not buy pie weights, and I don't think you need to either. What I did do was just buy some heavy dry beans, and I'm gonna use these as my pie weights. But I will say, if you use beans as your pie weights, once you bake them, you cannot cook these beans. I don't know if anybody did know that, but once you bake them and you use them as a pie weight, they are your pie weights. You cannot use them for anything else. And I'm just putting my pie weights in here to make sure that my pie doesn't puff up too much. If you didn't know what a pie weight was used for, that is what it's used for. So my pie is gonna bake in 2 steps. For the first 20 minutes, I'm gonna bake my pie at 425 Fahrenheit, which is 215 Celsius, in order to bake it and get the shell to form. Then I'm going to bake it for an additional 15 minutes, but I'm gonna drop the temperature down to 350 Fahrenheit, 175 Celsius, to get the shell nice and crisp, okay? And dry on the inside, because the middle will be wet after the first 20 minutes. And I had, with the little bit of extra pie crust that I had, I just made some little dots because I'm not putting a meringue on top of the lemon pie. So I'm going to put these little flowers on top of the thing. You know, I'm trying to decorate a little bit, y'all. So here we go. Let me go ahead and put these on a separate baking sheet, and I will bake these just like I'm baking my pie. These are gonna puff up, but I don't care because they're for decoration. And I don't need them for the structure of my pie, so. Okay, pie crust going in the oven. And my pie flours in the oven. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and get started on our lemon custard mixture. So I need to separate eggs and yolks. We're gonna use 6 eggs. All right, we have our yolks and our whites separated. Got a little bit of yolk inside of my white, but that's all right, because we are just gonna make an egg sandwich with those whites later. All right, now moving on to my handy dandy scale. I always need the scale. It saves on dishes, so most of the time I will do my entire recipe using the scale, because you don't have to have all the spoons and teaspoons and this and that. I'd much rather use the scale and do everything in grams. So in the future, you will see more and more recipes entirely in grams from me. 50 grams of brown sugar going in. You might have your eyes turned up a little bit at the brown sugar going into a lemon dessert. Sugar just adds sweetness, which is great. It also adds moisture to a cake, but brown sugar adds depth that sugar will not give you. So I always like to add a little bit of brown sugar in my fruit dishes in particular, but I like brown sugar anyway. And if you have tried to make any of my dishes at home, you know that I don't even know how to make a dry cake. So I don't know how people do that. 200 grams of sugar going in. 40 grams of cornstarch going in. This cornstarch is what's gonna make the lemon pie super duper sliceable, and it's gonna hold its form really, really well. 2 grams of sea salt. A cup and a half of water. And we can just let that sit for now. And we're done with the scale. For this recipe, I'm keeping it super duper simple for myself metric wise. I'm using the zest and the juice of 2 medium to small lemons. Well, this is a medium lemon, so. And I hope by keeping it simple for me, I'm also keeping it simple for you. And I'm keeping it simple for me, I'm also keeping it simple for you. And I'm keeping it simple for me, I'm also keeping it simple for you. And I'm keeping it simple for me. Remember, when you are zesting, you just want to get that outer layer of skin that has all of the fruit oil on it, because you get so much flavor from that. But you don't want to get the white part. That is called the pith, and it is super bitter. So you don't want that part. You want everything else. Now I'm juicing the lemons. I will measure out this juice for you guys just so you guys can have the numbers. But to me, I'm zesting 2 lemons. All right, let's see how much juice we actually got from this. So about 100 ml. That's what we got. Now we're gonna cook this on the stovetop. And believe it or not, we are almost done cooking the pie. Now we just sit here and babysit this and whisk it. And we are waiting for our syrup mixture to start to thicken, and then we'll go ahead and add our eggs in. The eggs and the cornstarch are what are adding the stability to our pie. All right, my mixture has already started to come together. So I've had to reduce the temperature. I put it on high, which was a mistake. Because this is a new gadget of mine that I'm very excited about. I will try to find this and link it down below for you guys that are interested in having something like this. So it will be linked down below, along with my scale. But now I need to temper my egg. So I'm gonna put a little bit of my mixture here inside of my egg yolks and temper it a little bit. I think it's actually safe for me to just take it off. So I'm just gonna take it off the heat and mix this off heat. I would taste that, but that is hot sugar. And I don't want to burn my mouth today. We're just trying to temper it a little bit. In my experience, you are going to get a little bit of scrambled egg in here, but you temper anyway so the whole thing doesn't scramble. And now I'm mixing my egg in, which is going to give us an amazingly beautiful bright color here. And our first bake for our pie is already done. So just gonna mix this. And we have a beautiful color here, beautiful, bright, kind of darkish orange here. But give me a second, I will lift this up and show you guys. So we have this beautiful orange color here, which is going to be very nice to show you me eating this on my yellow plate, which might look like I'm not eating anything because it might be invisible. I hadn't thought about that before, but here we are. But our mixture is nice and thick and lush and beautiful. So as you heard, my oven just let us know that our pie crust is done. Just going to remove this from the heat completely and leave that there for a second while I deal with the pie crust. All right, because we double layered our pie, I can go ahead and remove all of my pie weights, even though they're hot. I can remove them. And you see that the center of my pie is still wet. So now we're gonna cook the center of the pie. And I'm going to use some aluminum foil around the perimeter of my pie so my edges don't get any darker than that. All right, now I'm gonna tint my pie here. All right, this is gonna go back in the oven for another 15 minutes and that'll be done. And our filling is already done. So we want our pie filling to cool and we want our pie shell to cool. I don't know if I'm gonna use our flowers because they got a little too dark, but tastes good, but it's too dark. So maybe I'll do some whipped cream on top. Our pie crust is out of the oven and we are nice and baked all around here. Maybe I should have foiled around the sides a little bit so it wouldn't get so dark, but it's okay. I'm going ahead and putting my pie filling inside of my pie. The cameraman and I have already tried this and we like it very much. So optimal for this pie is a 4-hour rest period and cool down on the pot. However, because I'm filming, I'm going to put this in the fridge for an hour and hopefully it's set up by then. If it doesn't set up in an hour, then I'll let you guys know. Maybe it'll set up in 30 minutes. So I will keep my eye on it and keep peeking in the freezer to see if the pie is all set up. And then I will taste it for you guys and tell you what I think. Woo! Oh, oh. My pie's a little. Wait. Okay. Whew. All right, it is time for the taste test of my lemon pie. I didn't want to do a meringue, y'all. I'm not regretting that choice yet. So let's go ahead and dive into this pie.
Ooh.
Woo! Oh my God. It hits you right on the sides. Perfect zingy lemon. And the flakiness of my pie is really, really good, y'all. I definitely do recommend that you try this recipe. Add a meringue if you like a meringue. Add a little bit of whipped cream if you like some whipped cream. But me, I'm happy with this right here. I hope you guys enjoyed what you saw. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all next time. Ciao.